All right, folks, Duke Machado here at Lexit Strike Force. So excited to bring you another powerful candidate from San Antonio running for the City Council District 4. Tonight we're visiting with David Tristan. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing better than good and better than most, Duke. Thank you.
That's pretty good. You know, it's Friday, right? That goes a long way.
Yes.
So, we just started communicating a few days ago, and your name was given to us by an activist there in San Antonio. There's a lot happening from what I see. The Latinos are having an uprise, it seems like, to save San Antonio. Tell me why you're running for city council. What are your hot buttons? What's going on in your district?
So I'm running for city council for really a few reasons. My main reason, though, is after seeing the results of what city council has done over the last term has been quite disturbing. We have really there's four reasons why people run for city council, right? Or to run, period. And over the last 2 years, I've learned that out of these four, that they're the main reasons based on how they've performed, how they've communicated with community, how they've either backed or helped the community. It was for one of these reasons. It was either for political gain themselves, to just strictly advance up in the political world, which is completely fine, except they're leaving our community out. The other one being an individualist. In other words, it's just for self-gain. Self-gain being just in themselves, or to maybe just grow their own business personally, right? Or maybe they're a particularist, meaning that they have an interest to help another group or to help somebody else that's already in a seat to advance their agenda, okay? And so that is what disturbs me and bothers me. The reason why I'm running is for community regard. And the reason for that is I'm not in this for political gain. I'm not in this to cause tension to one group or to help another group. I have a raza here in San Antonio that needs help from raza, and that's what I'm here for, is to literally take my gente, bring them from what they may feel they believe or know they believe, and let them know, hey, your voice needs to be heard. We need to help you.
So what you're getting at is, from what I'm hearing, you're tired of a lot of things that are happening. You're tired of people enriching themselves at the expense of the community. And you're tired of your fellow Latinos keeping those people in power.
Yes, education is key. And a lot of times they don't understand what's going on because of lack of either communication or education.
So when it comes to your number one policy, the number one thing that just says, I have to get in because of this, what is that thing? What is that issue?
I have to get in for this reason and this reason alone. If you don't stand for anything, you're going to fall for anything. Okay. And right now, the council representative, the council person in our district, literally has shown that they are just a rubber stamp. A rubber stamp and anything else that happens, holding community drives and food drives and regular drives like that. That's great. But I'm a small business owner. I do that already. You're on city council. You have so much more power. And you're telling me your term there is the only thing you do is hold a food drive, a blood drive?
What would you be doing if you were a city council member?
Well, so first of all, my first concern is in my district, we have a huge homeless crisis going on. We have an area in my district, and if you look in my district, you have a map there that shows how my
let me get that. Let me get that pulled up real quick.
Fantastic.
All right, go ahead.
So you'll see it runs from the very tip on the top side. It's 151 in Petranco, and it kind of goes down right where you hit Marbach and 410. In that area, there's a huge homeless population that's just growing and growing and growing right out there. And then towards the kind of where I'm at by the SeaWorld location, you'll see there's another campsites there. And so my concern is this: some of these homeless, they're looking for help. They want the help, they need the help, and our council person is not doing anything about it. All right, we brought in a company a few years ago called Haven for Hope, and this organization was to help bring the population down, and it's done the opposite.
It's become a magnet for people.
Absolutely. So nobody's done an audit. Nobody's seen the numbers on how the success rate is there, or what's working, what's not working. Let me tell you something. I have a family member who's been homeless, and he's told me himself what some of the concerns are there. They trust nobody there. There's no trust. There's abuse going on there. Okay, so these are some of the current concerns that they don't know. Right now, I'm strongly involved with a veteran nonprofit that helps veterans. A lot of our homeless are veterans that have mental issues, mental problems, that they're not seeking a free handout. These people need help. Being Military City USA, we should be helping our veterans. And it's not there.
The city, what I've learned, I've been interviewing some candidates running for San Antonio offices, city government offices. The city has so many programs that, it's hard to track where all this money's going. And that seems to cause problems with trust, issues with transparency, concerns about wasteful spending. And like you're saying, this program with the homeless, I know another candidate, Ray Zavala, had mentioned something like that was supposed to last 10 years. Now it's been 20 years. It's still going strong, and no one's questioning anything over there. So
that's the point.
It's like at some point you just get fed up. You're like, someone's got to do something. Why isn't anyone doing anything? Is the question that I always ask. And then normally the next question is, well, maybe I need to do something about it. And so that's kind of where you're coming from. What's your background? What kind of a worldly experience do you bring to the table?
So I was raised here in San Antonio most of my life. I was brought here from Fort Worth, Texas at the age of 6 months. Okay, so I've lived here all my life. Graduated, well, first I attended Lanier High School my freshman year, and then my parents, we moved out to the south side of San Antonio, and I graduated from McCollum. Joined the Marine Corps, came out of the Marine Corps, entered the financial world, and I've been doing financial, and I'm talking banking, mortgage, insurance, corporate training. So I got about 20 years in that. In the last of those 20, I've been doing my own self-employed business, in which a lot of what I do is education.
So as a business owner, you can't run your business like the city runs the government budget.
No, I would actually have been so to kind of capitalize on that, the business that I'm in, my first year of success rate is only 3%. Okay, so I had to overcome odds of failing my first year. My first year states I only have a 3% chance of making it in this industry. This month in February makes it 5 years I've been doing what I'm doing. And so that lets you know budgeting, understanding what resources I can use, leveraging, hey, you know what? I'm going to help you, you're going to help me. Running a successful business using the money allotted for me and not asking other people to give it to me.
Yeah, I was raised by my grandparents for most of my childhood, and boy, they've got a work ethic. I mean, we worked when we were kids. We worked in the family business, and I wish we could still do that, but someone would call the law on you if you were working your grandkids and stuff like that. Now, hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Visiting with David Tristan. He's in San Antonio running for City Council District 4. We'll be right back. I'm Duke Machado with the Lexit Strike Force. Hang tight. Hi, this is Duke Machado with the Lexit Strike Force, coming to you, asking you to join our movement. Volunteers making calls, doing the work, what's required to save this country. We ask that you join us. Visit our website, lexitmovement.org. You can join and sign up to be a Strike Force member, and we'll get you engaged in the political process. Come visit us, lexitmovement.org. All right, folks, Duke Machado, we're back visiting with David Tristan in San Antonio, running for City Council District 4. So in that first segment, a couple of things that you mentioned. Number one, you're a Marine, but once a Marine, always a Marine, right?
That's right. That's right.
When did you serve?
So I went in right out of high school.
Yeah.
So I graduated in '98.
Yeah.
I did my one tour, came out. It was great for going in there. It kind of set me straight, got me out there, but I wasn't going to be a lifer.
Yeah, when I joined the Air Force, and the best thing I could have ever done was join the Air Force, because it was a moment where I needed leadership, I needed structure, and it gave it to me, and it made me grow up and take on responsibilities that my friends were not dealing with. When you go in out of high school, boy, you man up real fast. But I know everyone's jealous of our chow halls and our racquetball courts, but aside from that, we always know that you guys were out in the trenches doing the heavy lifting, so to speak. And thank you for your service. First. Thank you for your service. Absolutely. Another thing you mentioned was, we're talking about business. So right now, a lot of San Antonio is still shut down in large capacities. What are your thoughts on reopening San Antonio's business?
So San Antonio is built on a lot of small businesses. So small businesses is what helps run San Antonio itself. Okay. So we have had all of this relief that's supposed to be coming, yet City Council or Mayor has not released these funds that need to be out for our small businesses. Okay. Our bars and restaurants, making it very difficult for them to reopen. Okay. Or retail stores. Okay. Especially think about all your mom and pop retail stores. Mm-hmm. We have a costume store that's been around for years, that was affected by this because it couldn't open. We had a huge a restaurant that's been around since before I was born. The owner just said, you know what, we're going to call it quits. It was like a landmark downtown to go eat at Mexican Manhattan. We loved it. And they shut down. These places were closing because of what happened, and there was no push to really keep them up and going. And now that they're there, there's no assistance for them. Think about it. As a business owner, we have payroll, employees, benefits, then we have to pay ourselves. We got a little help, a little break, but some of them didn't make it. Some of them can't make it. Some of them closed. And so we need to save and revive our community right back up.
One thing I'm noticing, Latinos right now, conservative Latinos are stepping to the plate. I've noticed this trend in this election cycle, that there's more and more conservative Latinos that are saying, okay, I can't take it anymore. I'm getting in. What do you think of the surge of conservative Latino candidates in this election?
So my point of view of this is that surge comes from a lot of self-employed Latinos. So as a Latino, right, we're raised, in my case, my father worked for the city of San Antonio 32 years. Hey, son, you get up, you go to work. I don't care what you did the weekend before, the night before. I don't care if you stayed up late, you went out and had, fun with your friend. You get up, go to work, and you put in work, and you 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 work for your 20 years, 30 years, whatever. You retire and you get a check. Well, times have changed. It's not like that anymore. Pensions are going away.
It's hard to have a job for a year, much
That's
less
right.
30 years. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of them are going self-employed. So that conservative comes from, oh, wow, I get it. I see why a lot of the self-employed don't want to pay taxes. We're paying taxes through the year. Business property tax,
Mm-hmm.
self-employed tax, FICA, Medicare. We're paying these taxes. We're paying already enough. And so as they become these self-employed, they realize, oh, they have conservative values and views they never knew they had because they were thinking another way that was being shoved down their throats through a television or commercial ads on the radio.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the liberal agenda.
Yes.
The paid off media.
Yes.
That's why I like our program, because no one's telling us what we need to discuss or what the topics need to be. We're going to talk about whatever it is we want to, unfiltered and direct. So let's talk about a couple things that are hot topics. I understand that there's an idea that there could be some sort of program for gun buybacks in San Antonio. Have you heard anything about that?
So yes. So I've heard they're trying to pass to buy back your guns, or even worse, they're trying to make you register as a gun owner. And
Mm-hmm.
as a Second Amendment advocate and a gun owner myself, yeah, I'm not with that. I have the right to defend my property. I have the right to defend the property of my neighbors, my family. Okay. The Second Amendment is so dear, not just to the Constitution as why it's there, right? But to the fact that if you take away our rights to defend them, to defend ourselves, well, there's nothing left to
Yeah.
take after that.
Yeah.
You take that, we're done.
And that we're supposed to have that to protect us from a tyrannical government.
Yes. Well, so that Second Amendment helps us from our First Amendment.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
And censorship is happening all over the place.
that's right. And so they're already attacking that one.
Yeah, if we're not careful what we say, they'll pull this and penalize us for speaking our mind sometimes.
Exactly. And so my biggest thing is to my Latinos is look at everybody that's been sued for just defaming them on social media without getting the facts.
Mm-hmm. There's something, because city races are nonpartisan, you have voters from all the full spectrum of voters. And the one thing that I find interesting about these races is, it becomes a matter of, are you're going to support me because you like my vision for the future better than my opponent's vision for the future. With the population as it is in San Antonio, with the demographics as they are, with the Latino majority that San Antonio has, does that, I guess what I'm asking is it an advantage to be a Latino and to have conservative principles in city government? I mean, I know the answer, but how do you convey to the voters that they will benefit from having conservative leadership, conservative policies?
So that's a great question, Duke. And I have another photo there of some numbers and graphics.
Okay, I'll get that pulled up.
We pulled up. Mm-hmm. And if you look right under where it says by race and ethnicity, there is the civic engagement, and it is 81% of that is Latinos. Think about that. That's just in my district. 81%. That means, think about that. At 81%, how strong and powerful as a Latino community can we become just in our district? Now think San Antonio wise.
Wow, that's crazy. Do you think when it comes to messaging, does it need to be in English, Spanish, both? What are your thoughts on that?
It needs to be both. I know some Latinos that don't speak Spanish, right? Their parents didn't teach it to them. So my parents didn't teach me Spanish because it was forced on them to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, if it's up to me, then it's up to me. I didn't start learning Spanish till I was 23, 24. And that's because I had to.
No, I feel the same way as a fifth generation Texan. My mother, my uncles, I mean, they spoke Spanish to their parents, but they didn't speak Spanish to us. And I think, we lost that. That's a disadvantage. But, I try to speak Spanish. It's somewhat embarrassing, but what I find is people prefer, if they don't really understand English, they prefer for you to at least try to speak Spanish, and I can do that, and I can make my points.
Yep.
But everyone hates on me because I'm not fluent in Spanish, but that's okay.
Yep. And so I tell my children as well, look, you don't have to be fluent in Spanish. All my kids take Spanish courses in high
Mm-hmm.
school, as they do now, right? Everyone, so you're all going to take it. You need to know the foundation of it at least,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're able to communicate, because that is your second language. You need to, I can go on and hold a conversation. I have many clients that prefer I speak in Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
and I can.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was 23, forget about it. It was El Caro.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. All right, folks. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to take another break. Duke Machado, Lexit Strike Force. We'll be right back.
They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. It's true. Research backs it up. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started.
All right, folks. Duke Machado here, Lexit Strike Force. We're visiting with David Tristan, San Antonio City Council District 4 candidate. And, we're having a good visit, getting to know you, David. A couple of other things that we talked about during the break. Tell me what your thoughts are on the Fix SAPD movement.
So there's a petition out right now, and it's going on the ballot to remove the let me get this right, Fire and Police Employment Relations Act. Okay, people will call it Chapter 174, but that's not what it is. It is the Fire and Police Employment Relations Act, and that's exactly what it is. So they're misleading the community, letting them know that it's to hold our SAPD accountable. But let me tell you, that is not what that is. That is removing all negotiations off the table. Okay, if that is not there, okay, it actually puts more strain on an already unfunded police department, on an already understaffed police department. Okay, and so this is huge. I get that the things that have happened this past year with law enforcement, how some people it's a concern, but coming from someone who's lived in the streets, been there, that guess what? I'm just as brown as any other person that's been there, that understands, hey, I understand, I get it. But what happened? There was a breakdown in communication and education between the community and our law enforcement. And by removing this Relations Act, it gives us no leeway room. Okay, so I got a few stats here that'll tell you exactly what happened. So for the pros in it, because of this act, SAPD has been able to put the substations where they are now. It provides their vehicles, their armor, the cameras that they have on their chest now. Without that act, they wouldn't have that. Mm-hmm. Okay, the SAPD and fire, they support their own medical benefits. They have their own medical clinic. Okay, it doesn't come out of the city. They fund themselves. Mm-hmm. If anything, they're underfunded for what they do. you know? So these are some of the things that they're willing to put at risk because someone has an ulterior motive, something else outside of trying to obtain those funds to distribute somewhere else that's going to jeopardize the public safety of our city.
You know, it's one thing. I know that we have candidates, and candidates normally say, "Well, I don't like this," or "I don't like that." Um, what people are looking for is leadership. They want the new ideas. They want the fresh ideas that provide actual alternatives to the problems that exist. Do you have any examples, or do you have anything on your mind that you already know how you would take care of it if you were in office?
Yeah, so one of would be is the community involvement, right? We have areas in my district that are there's been no upgrade. San Antonio is building, and it's kind of like they just neglect our whole area, our whole district. It's neglected. I mean, in 1997, if I'm not mistaken, they built a baseball field near the dump site in my district. Okay, now I umpired for a few years, and I would go umpire at these fields. And the moment I got off my vehicle, you could smell the toxins from the dump site.
Mm.
Now, can you imagine having your 3 to 12-year-old child playing in these sites? Now, I get it. The fields were great. They're nice. And over time, you get kind of used to the smell, I guess, right? But the toxins are still there.
Well,
So
when the other team has to come to your field and they don't, they can smell it for sure.
Yes. And so what do the kids get? Oh man, you play here?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it smells. I mean, it's not very appealing. And that's how you treat our district. We have a ton of land in our district, land that's undeveloped. They just put a new dealership out. Yes, they put a baseball field for one of the private schools that we have in downtown San Antonio, right? Out kind of in our district. But so you're saying that the Latinos that don't go to private school get the crappy baseball field by the dump site? Oh, come on. We have to do better for our community.
Yeah, and you have to work to make those changes. I've worked with leagues, little leagues, in cities, and you got to have a good relationship with the leagues, with everyone using the facilities.
That's correct. And so, as a CYO director, athletic director for 5 years, I ran three diamonds for my church for the children. So I have a lot of experience in this, and not just that, I run one now. We run leagues for the veteran nonprofit organization that I support. I help them with that as well. So this is something I'm experienced in and trying to help our children find better accommodations.
Well, that would be a project that would make a lot of parents happy, I'm sure.
Yes, they would.
You might do better at the concession stands. So I'm going to give you a final opportunity to say a few things, but I did want to ask you this. There's also a mayor's race going on. So you've got 6 or 7 city council races going on, plus the mayor's race. Give me some thoughts on that race, and I know that Denise Gutierrez Homer is a candidate that we're working with. So tell me your thoughts on her and this race.
So one, she's the only female running in this mayoral race, and so that takes a lot of courage. First of all, so she has courage. She's strong. The fact that she's a business owner herself, she's ran for city council. This woman comes with a lot of experience, okay? Great ideas as far as what she wants to implement, what she wants to do, okay? Holding people accountable, right? Having the city become transparent. That's huge, okay? And the word, and you know what? I want to make sure we're being held transparent. A lot of people can say transparent, but can't really do it. And I fully support her in running. She's a great candidate. The council where she was running from is the district where some of my family live now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we're pulling for her as getting in there.
Mm. Well, I know that what's really happening right now seems to have, I don't know how else to say it, but I was talking to Denise earlier and I said, things seem to be falling in place so easily that this has to be beyond our realm of understanding. I kind of feel like the pieces of the puzzle are falling in place. You are one of those pieces. Working as you're doing, and everyone kind of moving towards what seems to me to be the same drumbeat. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of being hoodwinked. We're tired of everyone getting ahead and cheating the system, and honest people are left behind. Conservatives and conservative ideas, your ideas get squashed. Liberalism is taking over, but you're not ready to let that happen yet. And so this surge of Latino conservatives, I love it, and we're excited to be working with you in your race. And so I'll say all that, and then I'll give you the last word.
Well, thank you, Duke, for interviewing me and going through this. It's been a real pleasure. This being especially the first time that I run for an office at all. And I'll leave you with the experience that I have comes from working with a financial in the financial industry, where I moved up through big financial companies, department through department through department, into where I was head. So communicating with several different departments at once is not very easy, but it's something I'm really good at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My business does more than one thing. It's a multi-service. So once again, I have to handle different departments. Okay. So that alone, having someone that's able to communicate, that's able to negotiate, that's able to actually talk and not just be one-sided.
And stand your ground.
That's right. I'm not afraid to put my 2 feet down and, hey, if I'm wrong, guess what? I'm wrong. Or I'm going to listen to you also. You help me, I help you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not my way or the highway, and it's not your way or the highway. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. If you go to votefordavidsa.com, find out a little bit more about me on there. My family, big family man. So family is huge for me. It's actually it's on my logo, a picture of my family. So I hold that dear to my heart, and that's kind of how I feel running, is getting family back.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to provide a better place for our family, to raise families, for them to grow and prosper. So absolutely, my hat's off to you, sir.
So I'll leave everybody with this, right? What is your greatest fear of your child growing up in the future? Whatever that fear is, now is the time to make that voice and to make that concern. Mm-hmm. I'm running for District 4 because I'm fighting for you, because I am one of them.
Love it. All right, folks, that was David Tristan. A pleasure to visit with you, sir. And I know that we're going to be doing a lot more work with you, and here in the next few days, weeks, and months. Election is May 1st. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us. To all you tuned in, watching right now, please like and share, spread the word. San Antonio is booming with Latino conservatives. It's time to make a change there, and I think the time is now. Duke Machado, Lexit Strike Force, we're out of here.